Welcome to Absolute Zines, a football magazine show that showcases the best football mags out there. This episode is brought to you by Counter-Attack, the football strategy game, and be sure to stick around to the end for a unique 20% discount. Today we're jumping into No Place Like Home, Issue 7, Fleeting Moment, Lasting Impressions. No Place Like Home is a quarterly magazine that aims to showcase visual and written storytelling about the beautiful game. It features some very talented people, whether they're creators, writers or photographers, but most importantly they're all fans with a passion for the game and a unique perspective to tell it. For a more in-depth look about NPLH, be sure to check out this week's episode of Behind the Zines with none other than Joseph Forden, who's the editor of the mag. He tells the tale of how it was created, the collaborations that go into each issue, and a very funny story about why you should always back up your hard drive.
I've deleted it. I was like, oh my God, panicked. I think I maybe felt a little bit sick as well.
Make sure you check it out on this channel on Saturday and on all the places that you usually get your podcasts. Jumping into this issue, the first thing you notice is the cover is beautiful. It's a stunning image taken by Fabio Suarez, who's also featured in the portfolio at the back of the mag. And speaking of, the portfolio is a brilliant addition to this magazine. It's something that you find yourself going back to. Fabio's a very talented photographer and definitely someone worth following on Instagram. Now every issue kicks off with the front pages, and this issue kicks off with an interview with Kyle Martino, which was conducted by Joe himself. Kyle is an ex-men's US international doing some really incredible stuff over in the States with the grassroots game, and this interview is really eye-opening. He's really honest throughout it, and he talks about the state of the game in the US, his trials and tribulations when running for the US soccer presidency, and it's a great start to the magazine, really sets the tone, and it's definitely one for any budding MLS fans out there. There's a great variety to the front pages and there's something for everyone in there, but Kyle's interview is definitely a standout piece. Heading into the main features, the first piece is about the Hibs and Rangers finals that saw the underdogs come out on top. It's an amazing piece written by Ed Norval, and it's so easy to read in the best way possible. And I'm going to come out and be honest here, I'm not the biggest Scottish football fan, and I hope the Scottish side of my family doesn't hear that. But this piece makes me feel as if I was the biggest Hibs fan out there. The way that Ed writes about the game makes you feel like you're living it yourself, whether you remember it or not. Without giving too much away, my favourite line in it, which I think sums it all up, is when Ed writes, "The agony was over, the ecstasy began, mirroring the scenes in Hampton Park, the pub erupted. My reaction was to find the nearest table, remove my shirt, climb aboard and swing it around my head like I was a cowboy breaking a wild horse." I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? But in all seriousness, this piece does a brilliant job of painting a picture and putting you into that moment. And it's no wonder that Hibs fans snatched this copy up. Now another piece that paints a picture is Will Sharp's piece about the late great Tito Villanova. And Joe himself said this about Will.
I mean, I've said it before, it kind of writes with a paintbrush.
And he's right, the poignant piece about Tito is certainly one that pulls on the heartstrings. But on top of that, it's a great read, and I may even go as far as saying I'd buy this magazine to read that feature alone. The standout line, "It is better to have spent a single day living your most daring dream than a lifetime simply dreaming of having something to live for." Oofed. Now on a much lighter note, we're going to jump ahead to my favourite piece of the whole magazine. I must have reread this about 3 times on the day that I got the mag, and by Jason Jones, it's Robo Crouch. And it is what it says it is. It's a feature piece written all about Peter Crouch doing the robot. The gangly hitman, as Jason describes him, goofy but deadly. And honestly, this feature is just mad. There's pop culture references scattered throughout of it, and the storytelling just makes you laugh out loud. That's all set off by a brilliant piece of art by Slip. I know I said buy this mag for Will's piece about Tito, that'll make you shed a tear, but stick around for the piece about Peter Crouch that'll make you laugh until you cry. Another favourite of mine was the interview that Alexis James did with 3 football photographers for Life Through a Lens. It's a really interesting read about what goes into the day in the life of a football photographer, the pressure that goes into getting that one image and the bits of luck that go into it. The images alone in the piece are brilliant, with Robbie J. Barrett's picture of Paul Pogba looking more at home in an art gallery than it does a magazine. And speaking of art, NPLH can't be talked about without mentioning the creative director Neil Jameson, who makes this mag flow effortlessly and look unbelievable. And you may just find yourself staring at it for a while without even reading anything. Honestly, I can't rave enough about No Place Like Home. It's one of the best football mags out there. There's a reason that these magazines are selling out left and right, and it's because they're incredibly good. There's hard-hitting stories in it that make you have conversations and make you think. There's weird and wonderful tales that you never even knew existed. And then there's some stories that just make you laugh out loud in public, about Peter Crouch doing the robot. And fitting with that, I'd rate No Place Like Home 5 Robo Crouches out of 5. I don't think there's any higher honour than that. But seriously, you can purchase No Place Like Home at nplhmag.com. I'm pretty sure that they're all sold out, but issue 8 will be going live very soon, and Joe assures us that it's the best one yet.
Issue 8 coming, the next one coming, for me, is the closest we've been to a perfect game so far.
No pressure. And a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Counter-Attack, the football strategy game. Counter-Attack is the 2-player board game that puts you in charge of a squad of players and lets you play every move out on the pitch, trying to tactically outwit your opponent. Score yourself a 20% discount using the special code ROBOCROUCH at checkout. And Counter-Attack ships worldwide and is available to purchase at counterattackgame.com. Thank you again to our sponsors, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out this week's episode of Behind the Zines, which will be going live this Saturday with No Place Like Home's very own Joe Fordham. I am Judge Stevens, and this has been Absolute Zines.